Thank you, Jeff. And I want to say again, I hope that this is sort of it plants a seed, perhaps, or continues to water the seed in us as a congregation to do the work of coming alongside one another and the newer immigrants in figuring out how we can have solidarity. In the work of our immigration committee, we have partnered with different organizations over time, but one of the anchor partners is Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity. And we always remember that Gala is now the, oh my gosh, co-executive director, which is such an amazing thing, but also that Danny has joined us more recently. So we wanted to invite our partners as part of our congregation, actually, to share some of the things that we can be actively doing. So I want to invite Danny to come up and share the two things that, the two calls that Alton is sharing right now that are coming to you. Danny?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Jeff, for sharing about Angel Island. Yes, so Interfaith also had the the privilege and honors to go to Angel Island several times, and just recently we also had helped accompany what was that organization in China? Yeah, Asian Health Services, and some of the elders to Angel Island just kind of recently. And definitely, I think that I myself personally, I'm not speaking on behalf of Interfaith, but we love to support our church here in helping organize that event for Angel Island as well.
Write that down,
I'll mention that to Rev Deb when she gets back.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so we actually have two action calls for the church here. Yeah, first of all, we want to mention that there's a deadline for June 1st regarding signing a petition for ICE out of Dublin. So Interfaith is part of the ICE out of Dublin coalition, which is made of so many different organizations here in the Bay Area that is pushing against FCI Dublin, which is used to be a women's facility in Dublin, to reopen. So the history of that facility is that it closed down kind of recently because of negligent abuse and so forth. However, what's going on now is that the county or the city is trying to turn that over to a private contractor, which the private contractor itself can just pretty much hand that over to the federal government, to open an ICE facility within our backyard. And the reason why we don't want this is because we know that when an ICE facility is opened up, most likely it will be used as a headquarter or as a place where they can, pretty much deploy ICE agent into our community and, start wreaking havoc. So we're pushing back against that. We don't want ICE detention, within our backyard, which would cause that havoc, within our community. So there's a QR code right here. What you can do is you can do it now or later. You can scan that with your phone. There's also a toolkit right here, link, which you can also type on your computer. So the toolkit link itself would take you to that toolkit, which would provide you with some detailed example on how to write your public comment. So the public comment itself is part of the petition. Where we're trying to get so many signatures to let the board of supervisors know that we don't want this detention center to open up. So I think we have a deadline on June 1st, so which is tomorrow. Yeah.
It's work,
And another ask is that we do have a freedom campaign right here, which if you turn the flyer over, It's also a QR code, and it also has a link as well. So basically, the Freedom Campaign itself is that we're uplifting community members that had made mistakes when they were, young, and because of the mistake that they had made, their conviction, and also because they're not a citizen, and in a way, that mistake, which the government right now is trying to use that against them to separate them from their families and loved ones. Even though like these mistakes have been made, like decades ago, and that's what's going on right now. So the ask is that if individually or collectively could write a support letter, because many of them are seeking a pardon from the governor, and part of the pardon itself would vacate that grounds for the government to remove them from the U.S. What's also interesting is that this administration is really like pushing a hard line on immigration, especially targeting folks with former conviction, right? And even though they have transformed their lives around, and many of them have become community leaders, business owners, artists, so forth. But with what's going on, this administration is pretty much trying to kick anyone out that doesn't fall into that category. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. So thank you. Gala, you want to say something?
Thank you, Danny. I just want to express gratitude to Elton, Lynette, Auntie Judy. I still remember when we were discerning whether we were called to this ministry, and I was thinking, gosh, when was that? But my son Evan, who's 13, he was a newborn. So I distinctly remember caring for him and us going through discernment, and we, at the time, Pastor Marma was here, and her strategy was like, let's have everyone reconnect to their migration story. So she led circles throughout the congregation, just like that intro conversation. And so I'm just so grateful that back then that was our calling. And one of the stories that really stuck with me, and I think many of us, was Auntie Judy's story of coming out of the camps and not having a place to live, and your family being housed here, and the story you shared of lining up to take a bath in the tub. And that story, I think, really it stuck with me and many folks here when we had to vote around whether we would house the family. And it was connecting to that history and that legacy. So just grateful for y'all for continuing this ministry. And and then I'm so blessed to have Danny, who is our faith campaign manager. In my co-executive director role, I don't get to do as much of the campaign work that I love so much, but Danny's been our lead campaign organizer, so just grateful that he could be here. Now he's a part of the church, so.
So I want to invite you to take a deep breath, to hold close today's gifts in so many different levels, starting in worship, to this banner, and then to this time together with you, Jeff, and then our friends and partners. And then to really go into this day and week and season thinking of what you can do concretely to come alongside each other, and then to build this beloved community. I often think of when I drive by the banners that are out, and how we can share stories of that with other people, and what that means and why we do what we do. But I also want to take this opportunity to just divert for just a second. 2 weeks ago when I was at worship, Danny did share prayers for his partner Joyce, and for her medical condition and for his work of caregiving, which, having experienced caregiving, I know that that's a really something we do with so much love, but that it is a lot to balance in life. And so one of the things that we can do as a community to come alongside Danny and Joyce is to provide meals, something you all love to do. So if you are able to do that, I have a Neil Train sign-up sheet that I would be happy to share with you. If you can just let me know, and then I will do that in different ways. All right? With that, let's all stand. Oh, for the sense of healing that comes through poetry, for the beauty that comes through connection and community, and for the gift of call and purpose that we can have in the world. Together we say thank you and amen.